Hey there, and welcome to the Empire of Kindness, the podcast where we celebrate big hearts in small places. I'm Matthew McInnes, and today I want to take you to Durham, North Carolina, home of one very beloved bookstore with a story that will restore your faith in community. This is the tale of the Regulator Bookshop, an independent bookstore that didn't just sell books, it bound a town together. Let's rewind to 1976. Jimmy Carter had just taken office. Two friends, Tom Campbell and John Valentine, opened the Regulator Bookshop in downtown Durham. It quickly became more than a store. It was a meeting place, a cultural anchor, and for many, a second home. Over the years, the store welcomed everyone from curious kids looking for their next adventure to college students pulling books off the shelves by the handful to retirees discussing poetry over coffee. It hosted readings, workshops, author visits, the works. But then, in 2021, something changed. The building that housed the Regulator was up for sale. Developers were circling. Rent could spike. And the future of the store, this cornerstone of the community, suddenly looked uncertain. Now, this is where most stories about small businesses go south, right? Development comes in, the quirky local spot disappears, and a trendy coffee chain moves in. But not in Durham. People said, nope, not today. When Tom Campbell, one of the original owners, put out a call for help, the town didn't just listen, they acted. A group of locals, folks who had grown up at the bookstore, gathered to figure out how to save it. Not just to rent the space or run a fundraiser, they decided to buy the building outright. Yeah, buy it. And they weren't millionaires or celebrities. They were teachers, parents, retired couples, students, neighbors, people who cared. They launched a crowdfunding campaign and set up a structure for individuals to invest in the building. Real ownership. In just a few short months, they raised over $800,000. Think about that. That's not just dollars. That's late-night conversations over kitchen tables. That's people choosing community over convenience. That's love for a significant part of the community. One investor, interviewed by NPR, said, "It's a place that matters, and if we don't step up to protect places that matter, they'll be gone." And they didn't just protect it, they preserved it for future generations. Today, the Regulator Bookshop still sits on 9th Street, just where it always has, filled with stories on every shelf and memories in every corner. I love this story because it reminds us of something really important, that we can shape the world around us, that we don't always need to wait for someone in power to step in. Sometimes all it takes is people deciding together, this matters, let's fight for it. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by big problems, like rising rents, disappearing local businesses, cultural spaces being swallowed up. But this story shows us that even in the face of all that, people still have power, collective power, community power. Now, maybe you don't live near the Regulator. Maybe you've never even been to Durham. But I bet there's somewhere in your town that feels the same way. Maybe it's a corner cafe that knows your order. Maybe it's a community garden, a theater, a record shop, or a library that saved your life when you were 13. Think about that place. And now think, what would you do to keep it alive? We don't always get to choose the world we're handed, but we do get to choose how we respond. The people of Durham chose to say yes. Yes to books. Yes to community. Yes to standing together. And in doing so, they saved a bookstore. They also saved a piece of their town's soul. That's it for today's story. If you're feeling inspired, go visit your local bookstore or any place that brings people together. And if you're really fired up, start a conversation with your neighbors. You never know what you can build or save together. I'm Matthew McInnes, and this is the Empire of Kindness. Thanks for listening. And remember, in a world that moves fast, sometimes the bravest thing we can do is stand still and stand together. If you like this story, please consider sharing it with a friend. Remember, kindness first, kindness always. Let's build an empire of kindness.